and Robin twist. We can start. Good evening. It is 7:05. Welcome to the July 20th, 2026 Troy Council meeting. Please silence your cell phones for the duration of the meeting. And who we got? Invocation. Why? Mr. Phillips has invocation tonight. Nope, that was last time, right?
Yeah.
Phillips, Schilling. My bad. Please rise.
Please rise. Okay. First, I'd like to say that I had the pleasure and opportunity to listen to the Declaration of Independence being read on July 8th in front of the courthouse, and that was a tremendous event. And I wanted to use that as a basis for my invocation today. I wanted to read first a couple of parts of the Declaration, so bear with me here. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitles them. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that those among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. So let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, nature's God and creator of nature's laws, granter of our rights, our hearts flow with thanksgiving for the precious gift of freedoms you have blessed us with. We recognize that every liberty we cherish, every right we hold dear, comes from your gracious hand. Our founding fathers asked for your guidance and protection as they penned the Declaration of Independence. You have answered their and our prayers and have sustained this nation through wars, trials, and seasons of both triumph and struggle. We thank you for the brave souls who laid down their lives so we can worship freely, speak boldly, and live without fear. Help us to never take our many blessings for granted. Let us remember that we are destined not to surrender these blessings to a conqueror, but to forfeit these blessings endowed to us by our Creator through our own neglect and self-righteousness. May our gratitude move us to be worthy stewards of these freedoms. Let us make the same mutual pledge as our founders and ask for the continued protection of your divine providence, that we commit to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor to support this declaration. Amen.
Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Da, 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 da. Mrs. Knight, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Sievert.
Present.
Ms. Hickman.
Here.
Mr. Wooden.
Here.
Mrs. Snee.
Here.
Mr. Phillips.
Here.
Mrs. Westphal.
Here.
Mr. Schilling.
Present.
Mr. Twist.
Here.
Mrs. Marshall.
Motion to excuse Mrs. Marshall.
Second.
Motion to excuse Mrs. Marshall by Mr. Schilling, second by Ms. Hickman. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Ms. Hickman.
Yes.
Mr. Wooden.
Yes.
Mrs. Snee.
Yes.
Mr. Phillips.
Yes.
Mrs. Westphal.
Yes.
Mr. Schilling.
Yes.
Mr. Twist.
Yes.
Mr. Sievert.
Yes.
Mrs. Marshall is excused.
All righty. First thing on the agenda tonight, Mr. Michael Brendel, former interim president and CEO of Chamber, is here to introduce his successor.
It's always a pleasure being in front of our Troy City Council. It is a pleasure also to share with you a somewhat joyful, somewhat arduous process to find the permanent CEO of the Troy Development Council and the president of the Troy Area Chamber of Commerce. We have succeeded through a panel of 7 people. We had 6 solid candidates. We narrowed it down to 2. And it is my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Paul Oberdorfer. I would ask that you join me in a gentle round of applause welcoming him into executive leadership and fellowship. Mr. Oberdorfer.
Thank you, Council. First I'd like to thank Mike. Over the last 2 weeks, he's been on board with me, and we've been going through a transition. And thanks to his hard work, he's laid out a path for us forward that makes us hit the ground running right away. There are 2 distinct missions with the TDC, obviously economic development and moving the city forward with all the opportunities there are for growth and expansion, but also too on the chamber side is supporting all the businesses that have real needs and have to have a voice at the table as well. So I'm very blessed to have been appointed, and I look forward to working with all of you over the next several years as we advance the initiatives of both organizations. Thank you.
Welcome to Troy.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Next up, Mayor Oda has Rumpke certificates.
Miss Ainsley Savard. So I've known Ainsley since before she was born. It's always fun for me when Rumpke chooses somebody and I get this, and they tell me who it is. When I know them, it's always a fun thing. It's a special delight for me. So it's really fun to have you here on a personal level. You answered all 3 questions on Rumpke's questionnaire. Why is it important to recycle only acceptable items and not things you think or want to be recycled? I didn't even know that was a question. It's important that I recycle only acceptable items because I want to ensure that all of my recyclables make it through the process. Taking time to rinse containers before recycling helps not contaminate my other products. Number 2, how has recycling impacted your everyday life and routine? Recycling has decreased the amount of trash, which is what we like about recycling, because it doesn't at all impact my daily routine negatively. I like to break my items down before putting them in the recycling container or even make eco-bricks to save room. Wow. You are taking that to another level. And number 3, the 3 common items many believe to be recyclable, but actually are not. This should be a test for the whole room.
Styrofoam.
Plastic bags, paper towels, and napkins. You can throw paper towels in the recycling bin? Well, I don't have it where I live, but we'll have to let them, Yes. Anyhow, here's a special little gift from Rumpke, and just a thank you for recycling, for reducing the amount of trash that we have to send to a landfill. So, congratulations. I promise not to embarrass them, although I could.
Mrs. Knight, could you please read the minutes of July 6th meeting, please?
Minutes of Council, July 6, 2026. There was a public hearing on resolution number R37, 2026 to 2027 tax budget. Committee reports, Community and Economic Development Committee recommended that the committee met to consider modifying the provisions of ordinance number 019-2026, a moratorium on new application for zoning or occupancy permits related to fuel dispensing stations, service stations. That was, the committee was, then committee report was discussed. Recreation and Parks Committee recommended that legislation be prepared amending resolution number R5-2026 regarding the Troy Aquatic Park Maintenance Project to increase the authorization. Committee of the Whole reported regarding the meeting that was held for the design of the intersection improvements at West Main and Experiment Farm Road, noting that no recommendation was made at that time. Personnel Committee reported regarding a appointment to the CIC, which was then approved. Resolution number R37, 2026, adopting the tax budget of the City of Troy, was given first reading and adopted. Resolution number R38, 2026, advertised for bids for the Troy Aquatic Park Maintenance Project, first reading and adopted. Ordinance number O29, 2026, declaring a moratorium extension for a period of additional 90 days regarding fuel dispensing stations and also related to social service facilities, was given first reading. There was a motion to amend the ordinance, which failed adoption. And then there was more discussion. There was a presentation by Mr. Kirkham regarding National Night Out, which will be held on August 4th of this year. Following various comments, council adjourned at 8:30 p.m.
Move to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
Motion to accept the minutes by Mr. Twist, second by Mr. Schilling. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Whidden?
Yes.
Mrs. Snee?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mrs. Westfall?
Yes.
Mr. Schilling?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
Mr. Sievert?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Minutes are approved.
Thank you. We have a couple committee reports tonight. One, we will start with the Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole regarding design options for the intersection of West Main Street, Experiment Farm Road / Stanfield Road. All members of council met as a Committee of the Whole on July 13th, 2026, regarding design options for the intersection improvements at West Main Street, Experiment Farm Road, South Stanfield Road. The meeting was chaired by President Rozelle. Summary information was reviewed by the city engineer. Members of council were provided an opportunity to ask questions and comment on individual preferred design options. The straw vote was as follows for design of the improvements at the intersection of West Main Street, Experiment Farm Road / South Stanfield Road. For a roundabout was members Hickman, Marshall, Phillips, Sievert, Snee, Twist, and Whidden. For a four-way signalized intersection with Schilling and Westfall. No legislative action will be required until council is asked to authorize a consultant to actually design the project. The next step is for ODOT to schedule a public input meeting, which is required by ODOT. This is respectfully submitted by Ms. Hickman, Mr. Schilling, Mr. Twist, Ms. Marshall, Mr. Sievert, Mrs. Westfall, Mr. Phillips, Mrs. Snee, and Mr. Whidden. Thank you. Moving on, we have an oral report from Law and Ordinance on 2 liquor licenses.
Thank you. The Ohio Division of Liquor Control has transmitted a notice of the transfer of a C1 and C2 liquor permits from JAGRAJ Gill, that may be Grill, I don't know. Anyway, 249 Union Street to Ghost Monkey Incorporated, Dad's Carryout, 249 Union Street. The police department has not recommended an objective or hearing request be filed. The second oral report, again on a liquor permit notice, the Ohio Division of Liquor Control has transmitted a notice of application for a new C2 permit for 322 Market Street Enterprises Incorporated, 322 West Market Street. This is the location of a gasoline station. The police department has not recommended an objective or hearing request be filed. Motion to approve these notices.
They're just read for the record.
Oh, okay.
There's no...
Just read
My
for the
bad.
record, that's what I thought.
Goodness, my bad.
And
It's been a bad week, folks. We'll
I
go from there.
Mr. Rosell, that it does say on the notice from the state it is GIL, G-I-L-L. So
Yes.
that's
Gil,
okay.
okay, yeah, Gil.
All right.
Gil.
That brings us to citizen comments on committee reports or agenda items tonight. Your 2-minute time period. If you come to the podium, give your name and address for the record, and have your 2-minute say at this point in time. Anyone would like to talk on anything? Seeing none, we have one action of business tonight, which is ordinance O-29, 2026. Mrs. Knight, would you please read that?
Ordinance number O-29, 2026. An ordinance declaring a moratorium extension for a period of 90 days on the processing, issuance, and approval of new applications for community-oriented residential social service facilities, and on the processing, issuance, and approval of new applications for automobile fuel dispensing stations and automobile service stations in the city of Troy, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. This is the second reading.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
why don't we take this over to a third reading?
I don't have a problem with that. Anybody have objections to go into third reading?
At the next council meeting?
I'm actually going to request that this be done on Wednesday evening.
Okay, I have questions on that then, because when I was called, that was an attempt to have everybody here to vote. And I was told when I got here that Wednesday, we had more members missing on Wednesday than we do tonight. So, if it's in my power, I'm going to decline the Wednesday night meeting, and we will do it the next council meeting where we have a chance to have everybody here. It's an important thing to have voted on, and they need to have their say.
Mr. President,
Yes,
may I ask a question, please?
yes.
Mr. Titterington, I know at Planning Commission previously there was talk about maybe changing up the verbiage that is in the current draft. Is there any update on that that you could share with the public?
Sure. Well, I can talk.
Sorry.
You're talking about the modified recommendation?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay. Well, I think what was left unresolved, Mr. Kerber, was if the, under Rule 25, I don't know that there's an override provision in that, but if you want to look at that, then I can answer, or unless you want to weigh in.
Well, there are special procedures for calling a special meeting, without a doubt, and it says the mayor,
It says the mayor, the president of council, and any
or
three
any three
members.
members, right?
Can call the special meeting. So if the meeting's been called,
Well,
But the reason for the call was that so
I
everybody could attend.
I mean,
Not everybody can attend.
the reason on the letter is
What letter?
the topic, the one I was given when I walked
Because
in.
we have not received a notice yet, and it's
You only need,
12 hours notice.
You
you
need
get
to have
12
12
hours to do that.
upon the provisions of Rule 25 of Troy City Council Rules for Procedure, as adopted by Troy City Council on March 16, 2026, I hereby call a special meeting of City Council for 6 p.m., July 22nd, 2023. Okay, well, that's, you would need 2 more council members, and I'm sure you'll get those. And then we have the rules. It says, rules, special meeting of council, mayor, the president of council, and any 3 members of council may call a special meeting of city council upon at least 12-hour notice to each member, served personally or left at his or her their usual place of residence. Said request for a special meeting shall clearly articulate the topics or topics to be discussed, and the agenda for said special meeting shall be limited to the topic or topics so articulated. All special meetings shall be open to the public unless the purpose of a lawful executive session, and shall not include general public comments such as allowed in Rule B13 above. The topic to be discussed, which shall be reflected in the agenda to be prepared by the clerk of council, shall be the third reading and consideration of ordinance O-29, 2026. The proposed ordinance would extend the moratorium on community-oriented residential social service facilities and automobile fuel dispensing stations/service stations for an additional 90 days. I am not requesting executive session. And as a thank you for your consideration, Mayor Robin Oda. So
what's the,
you don't have two other council members to request that.
You don't need.
No, the
Okay.
mayor can...
Do we have to?
Mr. President, I
Yes,
believe if
ma'am.
you read the rule, it's the president
Yes, okay.
or
Yes,
the mayor
I
or
misread
three.
it. I misread it.
But I think the question still stands.
But the problem I have with that, Mayor, is the point of having it Wednesday was to have everybody here to
no, the point is to have a third reading.
then have it tonight. Let's have it tonight. We've got more people here tonight than we do Wednesday.
It's already been gone through a third reading. And, yeah, this
But it doesn't make any difference.
But you knew before coming in here, we had more people tonight than we did Wednesday.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
in talking to Mr. Kerber, is that it makes no difference whether we meet on Wednesday night of this week or August 3rd, which would be our normal meeting, because this is an emergency piece of legislation, and if it is approved, it goes into effect immediately. So there's no reason, I mean, whether we vote, if it gets approved on Wednesday or the first Monday in August, it makes no difference. If it gets approved, it gets approved and goes into effect immediately. There's not that 30-day window, and Mr. Kerber, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was what you told me out in the hallway, is that because this is emergency legislation, which is clearly marked on our agenda tonight, that it's going to be in effect immediately if it's approved. And so there's no reason to have a meeting on Wednesday night. I'll rest my case.
That, I did have a conversation with Mr. Schilling. This is, if it goes to August 3rd, it will be the third reading. There would not be a requirement of a suspension of the rules. As the committee recommended, the ordinance was drafted as emergency legislation to make sure there wasn't a gap in the moratorium. Assuming that there's 6 votes procured to pass as emergency legislation, it would go into effect upon the signature of the mayor.
So regardless, if it's Wednesday.
So legally, where are we at, Grant?
Well, as far as, well, I want to make sure I'm answering the correct question, Mr. Rozell. As what Mr. Schilling said, that if it goes to August 3rd.
I have no problem with you answering Jeff's question. Where are we on the request for the meeting? Do we have to have it?
Well, if the mayor calls it, you'll have to have it. And then if there, as far as the legislation, depending upon the purpose of the meeting, council will decide how to dispose of the legislation. And, I know on other occasions they've gone beyond a third reading. So, I mean, that's going to be up to council.
Personally, I don't see that happening. It'll go to third reading, they'll vote. Is there any interest in readings beyond that, guys and gals? So I guess we're here Wednesday.
What if nobody shows up? We have to have a quorum.
I can't answer that, that's a legal question.
Mr. Schilling, I'm not going to answer that on the spot here. I'll look into that.
I think that would be a dereliction of duty.
Not necessarily.
I'm taking an oath to obey the rules of state, city, fed.
So there was a meeting
But
last
again, I mean,
week.
we also have the ability as freedom of speech to protest.
Jeff, just
And
drop
this could be a protest that we...
Just drop it, Jeff, please. Yes, ma'am?
Never mind.
So apparently we're having a meeting on 6 o'clock Wednesday here to discuss and have the third reading of the extension of the moratorium. Mrs. Knight, we have any comment, any announcements or
No,
anything?
sir.
Mayor, any further comments?
I have nothing.
Director of Public and Public Service and Safety, Mr. Titterington.
Well, this went so fast. The only thing I would announce is August 4th, we do have the National Night Out event at Community Park. That'll start at 5 p.m. That'll be countywide. It promises to be well attended. There will be a lot of vendors. We should be well represented as well. That's all I have. Thank you.
Auditor is not here. Director of Law, Mr. Kerber.
I have no comments this evening.
Members of council, you'll be last this week.
Okay.
Mr. Twist.
No comments at this time.
Mr. Phillips.
Will the roundabout at Adams and Staunton be completed by the National
It
Night?
is scheduled to be, yes.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
I don't believe I answered your question. Did you
I was
still
gonna
want an
re-ask
answer
it,
for
it's
it?
fine.
You can ask
You're
it
going to
now.
re-ask
I
it?
was
Okay.
going to ask.
Ms. Hickman.
Would you like me to restate? So during last planning commission meeting, there was mention of possibly changing the verbiage when it comes to fuel dispensing stations in the draft of the UDC. So were there any updates that we are able to have shared?
So after that planning commission meeting, we met with the attorney and the developer, who has spoken 2 or 3 times now. And we did schedule a meeting between staff, myself, and the developer's representatives. We did that last Thursday, and we did have a good dialogue, and we will be recommending some modifications to the initial draft language in the UDC. I won't list those out, but they should be included in the Planning Commission packet, and it'll be part of a brief presentation leading up to the public comments, public input meeting that the Planning Commission is holding Wednesday afternoon. We all walked away feeling that was a very good set of new recommendations, and that was from the staff as well as the developer. They appreciated having some input and were agreeable to everything that we have and will be presenting to Planning Commission and to the council.
Perfect.
And that'll be discussed Wednesday night.
That was going to be my reminder.
Wednesday
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes, so there is a public hearing at Planning Commission on Wednesday. Can you remind me of the time?
3:30.
3:30. So if anybody has comments, anyone of the public has comments to make on the current draft of the UDC or would like to see any updated presentations that staff may present, Wednesday is your time, and there will also be another public meeting when it is before council. So if you're not able to make the Wednesday at 3:30, you may obviously always contact your councilman or email Sue, and she can get the information to us, or attend when it is before council, because I assume that will be a later meeting that is more work-friendly. So I think that is all I have this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Whidden.
Just for anyone, for clarification, when Mr. Rozell read the minutes from our meeting of the Committee of the Whole last week, that was non-binding. That was just a shop work session straw poll. So those results on what we're going to do at the intersection of State Route 41 and Experiment Farm aren't set in stone just yet. We are still taking public comment on that. Was out walking the neighborhood this past week, as I do from time to time, trying to talk to constituents. Many folks up in the First Ward were excited about the repaving and grinding that was going on, so I'll pass that along, that a lot of roads were getting done. And then while I was out talking to them as well, it was a great chance to talk to people about the intersection out there on 41 and Experiment Farm Road. Again, I'm always surprised how many people are generally in favor of the roundabout option. I'm not trying to sway people's opinion when I talk to them, but that's just kind of where they end up at, so that was surprising that of all the people I talked to last Thursday night when I was out walking, that was the general consensus, so I'm sure it's, it was only 6 people I was able to speak to that night, but it was all in favor, all in favor, which was surprising. So if you disagree with them, please make sure your voice is heard so I can get as many opinions as possible. And for those in the audience tonight, thank you for coming. Just want to remind you that we have better meetings when you're here. Thank you.
Mr. Schilling?
I think I've said enough tonight. I'm all done. Thank you.
Mrs. Westfall?
I don't have a whole lot to say, just to encourage people to use their voice and to speak up about their opinions about things. It's important to be heard. The people I've talked to, it seems like people 60 and over are against it and 60 and under are for it. So I think everybody's capable of learning new things. I do think it is our responsibility to find the best alternative for our community, not gauging ourselves against anyone else but our own community. So I just encourage people to use their voice. Thank you.
Mrs. Snee?
Thank you. I have no comments this evening.
Mr. Siebert?
I have a couple. One, and I appreciate Mr. Chiddington talking to me about this earlier, that I was approached by a business owner downtown about the vagrancy problem. I know we have to, it needs to be done compassionately, but there is a Facebook post that I'm sure everyone saw a lot of traction about Westbrook with some issues. So I would encourage Mr. Tiddington, and he has indicated that he has spoken to the appropriate powers to be, that we continue to handle that in a humane and appropriate fashion, but we also make sure that we keep our city as clean as we possibly can. The second issue for the good of the order is I went to my first concert at Hobart in probably a long time to go see Three Dog Night. There's only one dog left, and he was 85 years old, but he put on a heck of a show, and it was good to see Hobart Arena active and well put together. And finally, I know I'm kind of an outspoken member at this dais, so I should explain that I became aware that I have a professional conflict with regards to the gas station moratorium, and therefore I cannot comment on any of the discussion that occurred earlier or will occur on Wednesday. So I'm not trying to be evasive. I just have to follow my rules of ethics. So that's it.
All right. A couple things. I know you covered months ago when we asked, but people were questioning again. When's Walmart going to do their paving? Do we know? Is there anything we can do about it?
My understanding is that they were going to, they have it scheduled for, I believe, September, and that timeline is what they had told us back during the winter.
All righty. What's the status of the park master plan?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the Duke Park portion of the master plan?
Or any of it?
Okay. So they've had second interviews on the top 3 candidates. We have not met as a team to come down to one, and then and hopefully we're almost there, because then we will get that to the park board to review, and then make a recommendation for committee assignment.
And this is for design?
This is for the design work for the ideas regarding Duke Park.
Okay.
And what's the timeline on that? Just, excuse me.
You're fine.
I'm sorry?
What's the timeline on getting that to us?
Oh, to you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask that again tomorrow, but they did hold the interviews, and so we should be at a position where they're going to show me and the park board, what they thought. I was not part of the interviews. I left that to the staff. There was some representation on the park board that was involved in those interviews, so that's helpful. I'm not sure when the next park board meeting is. A couple of weeks?
First Tuesday of...
First Tuesday? Okay.
Yep, it has to be after.
And then, right after that, we will ask for an assignment to committee.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff?
I'm sorry, I did think it's something. I was contacted today by a non-resident of Troy who was concerned about the roundabout, had some questions and input, and so I got to thinking about it. This is the decision on this roundabout is not really limited to the residents of Troy, although we're the ones paying for it. But anybody that essentially uses that intersection, I would more than welcome any comments or questions or input that you would have. And so anybody within the sound of our voice, feel free to contact any of the council members, even though if you may not live in the city of Troy, and give us your 2 cents worth. I know I would appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Mr. President? Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
While we're on the parks, I forgot, a few people have asked what all the updates will be with Community Park, and that's happening in the fall, correct? Is there like the turf and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay.
The playground equipment and the turf replacement, yes.
Okay. And are the restrooms finished?
Yes. they've
Okay.
been updated.
It's been a minute, so I just...
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And I apologize, Jeff, if you didn't hear it or I spoke too fast. The report says it's a straw vote.
I did hear that, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay,
that was-
yeah. Just to clarify your clarification. All righty, staff. Any questions from staff? You're open to the public. You know the procedure. If you've been here, come on down, name and address, have your say.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bradley Beringer, 105 Crestwood Drive. I first would like to say thank you to Councilmember Schilling for what he read at the beginning of the meeting tonight. That is profound in this nation today. The only sad thing is it took 188 years for all men to truly be made equal in our country. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I'm a student of history. I love history. In one of the early drafts of our Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson wrote a 186-word passage in condemnation of slavery. And if it wasn't for a gentleman by the name of Edward Rutledge and a group of people from South Carolina and Georgia and a few of the northern delegations, that clause might have still been in our Declaration of Independence. But they forced him to take it out to protect their own interests. And it wasn't until 1964, with the passage of the Civil Rights Act, that true equality finally came to be in our country, with the erasure of Jim Crow. So it's kind of ironic that back a few weeks ago when we had the people from Move to Amend up here reading the Founding Fathers' thoughts on corporate spending on politics, one of the people that I actually read was Edward Rutledge, that very same man who blocked the Declaration of Independence's indictment of slavery. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Something to think about. Secondly, I had the pleasure or displeasure, of however you want to look at it, of being at a 3-hour hearing this past Thursday in Dayton, Ohio, for the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio. And I'm here before you tonight to talk about this because this is something that could reach every one of us both on this dais, in this room, and in the city of Troy, and indeed the whole of the AES service area. If you are an AES customer, you should pay attention to this. AES Ohio has filed for a rate increase for distribution costs totaling $143 million to be spread out over 3 years. $143 million. I want you to think about that for a minute. The way they have this set up is the first year your rates are going to go up $6.34. Next year they're going to be $5. Third year they're going to be $2.45. Well, you all say, oh, it increases across 3 years. No, it doesn't. It stacks for a total of $13.79 over that 3-year period on top of the distribution costs you're already paying. Now, why do I bring this up? It's very simple. I don't think that the ratepayers of AES Ohio should have to fund data centers. And that's what's driving this, folks. We can say, oh, it's for infrastructure, it's for this or for that, but it's for infrastructure for data centers. And I didn't even know it until I went to this meeting, but AES Ohio's parent company is in the process of a $33.4 billion buyout by a private investment consortium led by BlackRock, who is one of the premier builders of data centers. And that should frighten everyone. What I'm here to ask of you tonight, of this council, is to please take a stand against this rate increase. And you say, well, what can we do as a council? It's very simple. There's at least 2 municipalities I have found on the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio docket on this very increase request that have passed resolutions in opposition. Now, it may not do anything in the long run, but at least you will have the opportunity to get your voices heard. And I don't have a copy of the resolution in front of me tonight. And Mr. Rizzo, if it would help you, I would be more than happy to provide it either at committee meetings or by the next council meeting. But I would please ask that it be assigned to a committee and at least discussed and considered. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm glad you showed up. My name is Rich Grant. I just moved to Troy.
Address, sir?
Oh, yes, 549 Summit Avenue here in Troy. I just moved here in July of 2020. I work at the Veterans Museum here in Troy. I've been there for 6 years now. I know that the mayor has been there to visit. I'd love to see some of your faces there. We got a lot of new things. That's not why I'm here, though. The gentleman just spoke to you, hit it right on the nose. I've been attending the council meetings in Piqua about the data centers, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail. I'm going to just ask you to really take serious what was just said here tonight, because the information I've been gathering for quite a few months now about this particular community is most people are not even aware of how really serious trouble that this community is going to be in, not only regarding the electricity, but the amount of pollution it's going to set forth here, and we're going to be in big trouble regarding the water system. So I'm going to put together some stuff that next time around I might maybe go to the mayor's office and drop it off. I don't know how to go about doing that to furnish that for you.
If you're coming back and speaking again, or you come back, you can give it to the clerk and she'll disseminate it to us. Okay, that would be fine. Now the other thing, and I'm not sure I'm going to be saying the right thing here, but the gentleman that was just elected to your Chamber of Commerce was involved in Piqua, and I'll just leave it there and you take a dive on that, see what you come up with. But I have spent a massive amount of time doing a lot of research on data centers. I would invite you to all get on YouTube and just Google in, things about data centers. And I'll tell you something, I honestly, I have probably watched 300 or 400, maybe 500 videos on data centers. Not a single one of them has had anything positive to say about a data center and the impact that they're going to have on the community. Now, I was born in France. I'm going to cut this off here real quick for you. Came to the United States, never knew my real dad, but my stepdad was in the military. I served in the United States military as well, even though wasn't at the time technically an American citizen, I guess. But I've been all over the world pretty much.
But I got to be honest with you, one of the finest communities I've ever lived in is right here, Troy, Ohio. Of all the places I've lived, this is absolutely one of the most stunningly friendly, clean communities ever. And you know what? I'll just say this. If you don't put some feelers and start thinking this, get this thing going here as well as this, and thank you for what you just did today as well, because these people that have a lot of money, more money than any of us could ever dream of, are doing whatever they want to do. And the saddest thing I've ever seen in my lifetime in the United States of America has taken place with the city council in Piqua, where they refuse to listen to anybody. They've done what they wanted to do. It was all done in secrecy, and all I'm going to say is this: please look into what that man said right there. He's been here a lot longer than I have, because I got a feeling we're in big trouble. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it. Also, one quick question. So I'm up on Summit Avenue by the old hospital. Who here would be technically my rep? That's you're Mr.
It's actually me.
Yeah.
I was just looking it up.
Yeah.
I have 2 blocks of
Madison?
Summit.
Madison,
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Well, it depends on
So
what.
how do I get in touch with you if I want?
So just so I have correct, your address is 549
Yes,
Summit?
ma'am.
Yeah, so, yes, that would be,
Everybody's emails on the
Their board.
website.
yes.
Okay.
Yep, my email's on the city website, so you're more than welcome to email me at any time.
Okay. Well, thanks. I appreciate the time you've given me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I'm Katie Wagner. I live at 2955 Hickorywood Drive here in Troy. I wasn't even going to talk about it, but I'll just second that. I was at the PUCO meeting and it was a disaster. So looking into BlackRock purchasing AES, which is a private equity firm, the world's largest, it's not even with just the United States, it's other countries too. It's a major concern and it should be for everybody here. It's also happening in Texas and New Mexico, but their name there is Blackstone, not BlackRock. I'm here to get clarification because I recently submitted a public records request for Flock organization audits and Flock network audits related to the city's automatic license plate reader system. This is not anything against the police department. I fully support the police department. It's just more so I want to see what's being pulled and who's pulling it. My initial response stated that the request records do not exist. And then after doing it again, I was told those records fall under the ORC 149.43A1YY and are exempt from disclosure. So I'm just asking for clarification. Does the city not generate or maintain these audit records, or do the records exist but are being withheld under the exemption? Other Ohio agencies using the same type of system appear to be handling similar requests differently, so I would appreciate understanding the city's position. I submitted the exact same request to Arcanum as well, since I'm running to represent all of District 80, which is all of Miami County and Southern Dark, and I get the records from there, so I just would like some clarification.
Mr.
Am I
Tiddington,
wording it
Mr.
wrong?
Ferber?
Am I doing something wrong? What am I doing?
I can weigh in on
Okay.
that. I can't speak to, I can speak to the exemption as far as whether or not those records exist. I can't confirm, I don't have information to say yes or no on that portion of it. But as far as the exemption, it's my understanding that some of the other communities, namely like Dayton, they have released that information, but they initially indicated that that exemption applies, and they still feel that way. Now, I agree with Dayton's legal counsel that the information that you requested is exempt under that statute that you cited there, the YY subsection, and that was just recently enacted by the legislature. So I can't speak to why Arcanum or any other community would feel that, that they were, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they felt that they were compelled or to follow the law, but I looked into that, and that exemption would apply to that request as far as what you set forth in your public records request.
Do you know when that changed to the YY?
I would have, I mean, it's been, when I say recent, I would guess within the last 2 or 3 years, but I don't have enough. When I say recent, I'm getting to be a little older, so that's recent to me. But I can look that up. I don't. It's a relatively recent enactment by the Ohio legislature.
Okay. All right. Can I still request the contract and amendments and everything? Yes. Everything else? Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, we will meet Wednesday, and then we will have a council meeting August 3rd, 7 p.m. here. We are adjourned.